Donald Trump, a name that has become synonymous with bold, divisive, and unpredictable leadership. From real estate mogul to reality TV star to President of the United States, his journey has been as unprecedented as his policies. And now, in 2024, Trump is back in the Oval Office, promising to restore his vision for America. But how did we get here? And what does this mean for America and the world? Long before Donald Trump announced his run for the presidency, he was already stirring political controversy. During Barack Obama's presidency, Trump became a vocal critic, often questioning Obama's policies and, famously, his citizenship through the birther movement. This baseless claim, that Obama was not born in the United States, drew significant media attention and, for some, cast Trump as a champion against the political elite. This controversy, though widely discredited, positioned Trump as a voice for those who felt alienated by the Obama administration. Was Trump's critique a reflection of deep-seated grievances in America, or a calculated move to rally a base hungry for change? In 2015, when Donald Trump announced his run for president, his candidacy was met with skepticism. As a political outsider with a brash style, many doubted he could resonate with mainstream America. But Trump's message of draining the swamp spoke to millions who felt ignored by traditional politicians. He promised to bring jobs back to America, to strengthen borders, and to take a tougher stance on trade, especially with China. Throughout his campaign, Trump faced numerous controversies. From his comments on immigration, labeling Mexican immigrants as criminals and vowing to build a wall.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
To his remarks on women.
Wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful. It's very sad.
It must be a pretty picture you drop in.
I don't want to sound too much like a chauvinist, but when I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof.
Which culminated in the infamous Access Hollywood tape. Despite these setbacks, Trump's unapologetic approach only seemed to strengthen his base. And in November 2016, in a result that shocked the world, Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton. This victory marked a political turning point, revealing deep divisions within American society. His election was hailed by some as a victory against the establishment, while others saw it as a troubling shift toward populism and nationalism. Did Trump's win represent a new era of American democracy, or a shift away from the principles that had long defined it? Trump's presidency was defined by ambitious and often contentious policies. From reshaping the economy to rethinking America's foreign alliances, his influence extended well beyond U.S. borders. Let's examine some of his most significant policies and their impact, both at home and abroad. One of Trump's top priorities was to rebuild America's military. He increased defense spending substantially, arguing that a strong military would act as a deterrent to adversaries. In the Middle East, Trump approved military actions that led to the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, a move praised by some as a blow to terrorism, but criticized by others as dangerously escalating U.S.-Iran tensions. Trump's approach in the Middle East was transformative. In 2018, he pulled the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear deal, calling it a disaster and reimposing sanctions on Iran. His administration also brokered the Abraham Accords, a series of agreements that normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations. Supporters saw this as a step toward Middle East stability, but critics argued it neglected the Palestinians and worsened regional tensions. In Europe, Trump challenged NATO allies, pushing them to increase their defense spending and questioning America's role as the primary defender of Europe. He openly criticized Germany's energy reliance on Russia and hinted that the U.S. might pull back from NATO if allies didn't contribute more. While some saw this as a necessary call for European autonomy, others feared it weakened transatlantic alliances. On the economic front, Trump implemented major tax cuts and reduced regulations, particularly for businesses, but his trade policies were perhaps the most controversial. His America First stance led to a trade war with China, with tariffs on billions of dollars worth of goods. While he argued this was necessary to protect American jobs and curb unfair practices, the trade war disrupted global markets, impacting everything from electronics to agriculture. Does Trump's economic nationalism represent a path to renewed American prosperity, or a retreat from the benefits of global trade? By 2020, the nation had become increasingly polarized. Trump's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, racial tensions, and protests against police brutality led to widespread debate. His handling of the pandemic, in particular, was met with fierce criticism. Trump often downplayed the severity of COVID-19 and clashed with health officials on mask mandates and lockdowns. In November 2020, Trump lost the election to Joe Biden. However, he disputed the results, claiming widespread voter fraud, a claim dismissed by numerous courts and state officials. His refusal to concede led to the January 6th Capitol riot, where supporters stormed Congress in an attempt to overturn the election results. This unprecedented event left America and the world questioning the stability of its democratic institutions. Against all odds, Trump returned to the political stage for the 2024 election. This time, his platform leaned even more heavily on issues like immigration, national sovereignty, and economic independence. Trump continued to promise strict border policies and stronger protections for American industries, appealing to a base that had only grown since his departure. His policy platform in 2024 was not without controversy. His strong stance against certain social programs, skepticism toward climate initiatives, and continued mistrust of mainstream media set the stage for a campaign marked by fierce debate. And yet, his appeal continued to cross traditional demographic lines, bringing in new, younger supporters alongside his loyal base. What does this expanded support say about America's shifting political landscape? And could Trump's unconventional approach permanently reshape what Americans expect from their leaders? On November 5th, 2024, Donald Trump was elected America's 47th president in a historic vote. Trump's presidency promises to bring significant shifts in policy and power dynamics on the global stage. Let's take a closer look at what his administration might mean for key regions around the world. In the Middle East, Trump's continued alliance with Israel and stance against Iran are likely to intensify. His policies could lead to greater cooperation between Israel and Arab nations, but also risk inflaming tensions with Iran and reinforce the ongoing genocide perpetrated by Israel. How will this shape the power balance in a region already fraught with conflict? With China, Trump's hardline trade policies may resume, potentially leading to renewed trade conflicts. His approach to North Korea, once marked by historic meetings with Kim Jong-un, may again focus on containing North Korea's nuclear ambitions. Trump's relationship with NATO will likely remain complicated. His past criticism of European reliance on U.S. defense has led some European countries to consider bolstering their own defense capabilities. Could Trump's second term ultimately shift the balance of power within NATO? Donald Trump's impact on American politics is undeniable. From his outsider campaign in 2016 to his return in 2024, he has challenged political norms, disrupted long-standing alliances, and inspired both fierce loyalty and strong opposition. As we watch his second term unfold, we must ask ourselves, what kind of leadership does America truly need? Will Trump's bold, sometimes divisive approach prove to be a path toward renewed strength, or will it deepen the divides already present in America and beyond?